it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion to the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast.
Thank you. Oh.
Good evening and welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lane. I am your host, Kyle Haynes, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scatia.
Where do I look this week?
Also with me and us is Rich Manzer. Welcome to the studio, Rich.
Thank you, boys.
One of our local celebrities here.
Thank you.
We'll get to why Rich is here in a few minutes. But don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from our channel, share with your friends, listen on your favorite podcast outlet, and please give us a
five-star review. That's what he says every week.
Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And always comment to us during the show. We love to chat with you and take your questions live on air. And that is right, Mitch. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. Down lane time. All right. Thanks, Mitch. On today's episode, we've got our poll question, as we do every week. We're going to talk a little bit about Team USA at the IBF Super World Championships. Like I said, we got Rich Manzer in studio, and we'll talk about what that means. And we'll talk a little bit about Bowler of the Week, like we do every week. Anthony, I haven't asked you this question in a couple weeks, I feel like. Again, how was your week this week?
Do you actually not ask me?
I don't think I've asked you in a couple weeks.
Well, you can't really ask. I mean, shot another honor score this week.
Oh,
so
my God.
I think I had 811, 1070, 1060. I don't know.
I don't know.
Listen, when you're left-handed, it's just, what are you going to do? I know, I have to, but I have to perform tonight. We have a position round tonight, and I'm not bowling you.
Didn't we have a position round last week on Thursdays?
2 weekends ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and just so everybody knows, Rich does bowl us on Thursdays. He's in our league, so he knows exactly what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, no headphones here, Kyle. I feel weird.
I feel weird, but I feel more natural. I feel like we're having a conversation just with ourselves, not with the people. It's a little weird. It's a little strange. Yeah. So, so this week, let's see, we got to practice a little on nationals patterns.
Practice?
Yeah, we got. We're starting up the nationals practice already. I know it's only November. But
it wasn't an official practice,
I know.
But it was not bad. I think we had 15 players last night.
Yeah, and
roughly.
It was good. It was good to see the nationals pattern. See how it was shaping up
on our lanes too.
Yeah,
on the new lanes.
On the new
synthetics
SPLs. Wait, I always get it mixed up. We have SPLs. Yeah, not HPLs. Yeah, HPLs are old, right? But they don't make the HPLs anymore, do they? I didn't think so. And I felt like it played a little differently than. What did you think? You came in this morning to test it out.
I did. I bowled for about an hour this morning on lanes 1 and 2 on it, and I found left-hand lane hooked a little bit more than the right-hand lane for me. I don't know if that's because it was the burn.
It was the burn pair. It was the burn pair, so there probably was a little more hook there.
I found it to be very similar. It seemed like to me to the doubles and singles pattern that Nationals.
Exactly what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
I think we put that one out. Yeah, I put out doubles and singles yesterday. I had a few guys request it. We had some guys pay this week, who has been on the fence for a while. Shout out to Nick Harris. Congratulations, Nick.
Okay.
Long time coming. He's so last night he begged me to put this shot out, the doubles and singles, so he could kind of see what he wanted to do. And well, Kyle.
Whoa, almost
big adjustment.
Almost knocked it over.
But yeah, so he's going now, so he wanted to see what it was like, and he was happy, and now he's ready. I think he told me he wants to drill like 3 bowling balls now. Welcome to the club, Rich. Or
Nick.
He is,
I looked at
he
Rich.
is going to go to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
got a
welcome
newbie.
aboard.
We got a couple newbies this year, I think, too. But yeah, so it was good to get the nationals practice started again. Test some new equipment too, which I'm pretty excited about.
I'm just gonna bring a 2-ball tote this year.
Urethane 1, urethane 2.
Yep. I actually marked this. I marked the new one so I knew which one it was. So I can bring the old one and then maybe my other one.
Nice. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why Rich is in studio with us today. So today, of all days, is Veterans Day, and we want to say, most importantly, thank you to all of the people that have served our country and have protected us from the evils of the world and protected our freedoms. So Rich is one of those people who served our country. And so thank you, Rich, for
thank you guys very much for having me.
us.
And I greatly appreciate it. And thanks to all of the veterans who have served and whom are serving as well.
Right. And Rich is obviously a bowler. So we wanted to spotlight Rich here in studio. So Rich served in the Army Reserve from 1982 to 1985. He is a Troy, New York Association Hall of Famer, circa 2019. Is that right? 18. And six-time Albany Association All-Star team.
That is correct.
All right, nice. And you have like 46 300s or something, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yep.
He has all the numbers.
Yeah.
So you just have to ask him. He'll rattle them off like the top of his head. He has it all written down in his book.
Plenty of stats to go around.
Believe it or not, he bowled where my grandfather, Alpha Lanes, back in the junior program.
I did. That's where I started. When I was a kid, 14, 15 years old. Your grandfather worked the desk at Alpha Lane, We're going back, late 70s,
Wow.
78, 79. I would come in, I would bowl 10 o'clock shift junior seniors, and he'd work the desk, and on most Saturday mornings, I would walk from my house down. I would get down there about 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and he would always give me a pair of lanes to practice on before we started, and I did that for the longest time, as long as I was in the junior program there. It took great care of me when I first started.
If there's anything the Scacias are known for, it's for taking
Young
care of
people?
bowlers
Yes,
and young
absolutely.
bowlers
No, I
and
completely agree.
making sure that the sport is always
Yes.
growing and continuing
Yes,
on.
absolutely.
Speaking of Jack Scacia Sr., he was also a veteran and was in the Army and actually bowled for the Army. And we have a little shot here from when he received a commendation for good sportsmanship, and I forget where he was bowling in a tournament in New Jersey. I think it was the Inter Armed Forces tournament. And so that was back in 1955. So that was
A couple of years ago.
yeah, a few years ago, but yeah, so 1955. Anthony's grandfather, also my wife's grandfather, served in the Army and bowled for the Army. And then, as a matter of fact, in 1953, my grandfather, Bob Haynes Sr., also served in the Army and bowled for the Army. And my aunt was digging around in her. She's like our family historian. She was digging around, and was able to pull up this mission letter that he received to go to Austria to bowl for the Army team, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Because he served over in I think in one or two places over in Europe. So yeah, Jack Sr. bowled for the Army, Bob Sr. bowled for the Army, and then do you want me to continue with your family history, or do you know the rest of your family's history? Because I can go through it too.
Yeah, you might as well go through.
Well, your grandfather Ivan Putnam, he was in the Navy.
Yeah, he bowled,
and he was an avid bowler. He had a couple of 300s at least, right?
I don't really know. I think he's had one or two. I don't really remember. Not sure.
Then let's see. My dad, Bob Haynes, quote unquote junior, he is a very avid bowler, many honor scores. He served in the Navy. And then my other grandfather's Paul Fleming was in the Marines, and my Frank Kromick was in the Navy. So a lot of family history here in studio. Yeah, so thank you to all of the veterans. We wanted to make sure that on Veterans Day today, we put that out there and said thank you very, very much.
Yes.
I'm just really surprised that my grandfather won sportsmanship award. I mean, I was always taught at a young age that winning is the only thing, so I don't understand how he could get that award.
Oh my goodness! I mean, growing up around here, I can definitely understand.
I'm just really surprised. It kind of when you told me he won sportsmanship award, I've never read that.
It's only been hanging up in the bar for a few years.
Yeah, I
now,
have
that-
never done that. I cannot believe that we actually. Oh, here comes Charlie. I can't believe that we actually won something with sportsmanship.
All right. So, all right. So here we go. Here's our. Okay. So there we go. Thank you to all the veterans. But here we go. So now, here's on to our next segment. Our very first new segment here. This is called Extra Virgin Lane Oil with Chef Charlie. That's what we just named it, Charlie. All right. All right. So this is our very new segment here.
You didn't tell me we were eating.
Oh yeah.
I can't eat on camera.
Oh yeah. So
Why not?
So I just have to introduce this for a second, Charlie. So
where does he want to put it? He wants to put it somewhere.
Well, yeah, I know. So basically, most people are probably used to your basic bowling alley, quote unquote, fare, right? So you got your chicken tenders,
I love
and
those.
your
Grilled cheese.
burgers and your grilled cheese.
I love grilled cheese. I love burgers.
It's all good, right? It's enjoyable. But I feel like here at Town and Country Lanes, we have some pretty good eats. And I go so far as to say, not to blow any smoke, but we by far have the best pizza.
The pizza's
in bowling
phenomenal here.
alleys.
Yes.
Or I would go so far as to
Phenomenal.
say, I don't care what the pizza joints around here say, we have the best pizza in the town.
Yes.
By far. By far. So
It's good.
I'm scared.
Charlie,
Don't
tell
be
us-
scared.
So anyway, so I thought, you know what we should do? We should have every once in a while on the show. Charlie's going to make us something, eat a little bit. We're going to devour the crap out of it, and we're gonna kind of taste test it here on there.
Charlie came far enough to hit for you guys today.
All right, tell us what we got.
I'm gonna make chicken parm Stromboli.
All right.
So inside here is fried chicken with a little bit of love sauce over the top. And I call it after that comes from Anthony's father.
Love sauce.
And then he's got the dough purposely rolled up, nice golden brown. Give me a second, I'll cut these in half and
Yeah,
we'll be
come
right
on.
back and you guys can all eat out
Do it. Yeah, you got a little spot right here.
Oh,
Rich,
yeah.
you're going to partake, right?
I would love to. Absolutely.
I can't eat all that.
You don't have to eat the whole thing. We just got to take a bite and then
I can eat the whole
we'll eat
thing.
the whole thing after. But yeah, I know you can eat. I've seen you absolutely house
I don't know. I don't eat that much.
giant subs and whatnot.
I mean, oh,
This
geez.
thing's like hot out of the oven, right, Charlie?
Yes, so stick it right out of the oven, pup.
Did you do the 5-minute rule? Oh, thank you.
I gave it the 5-minute cool down for
Good.
Anthony
All
because
right, nice.
He is
I
5-minute cool down.
I use that. I use that rule at my. I use that rule at my house everywhere.
Listen, I'm using my hands. I'm not using forks. Yeah. But we do keep it normal here at the bowling alley. We use plastic.
Oh, really?
Plastic forks.
Michael.
Oh,
Michael
here we
Manzer.
go. Here, I'll hand it over
Michael.
to Charlie. I didn't touch it, Aunt.
Don't touch my food. I'll kill you. So
Rich, you can have the next one.
Oh, wow.
hopefully you
Thank
can
you
squeeze it
kindly.
in there. Can you squeeze in there, Rich?
All
Good.
right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank
Excellent. Larry Gagliardi says Chef Charlie is special.
you. He is.
Thank you.
All right,
He says
thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Oh,
We
all
love you,
right.
Charlie.
All right, so
I love you.
Don't go anywhere. Yeah, we got to test this and then let you know if yeah. Oh, absolutely, Austin.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What do we got here? Oh my God.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
Oh,
Everybody knows the rules. I like it. Oh yeah.
How do we do?
Oh yeah.
phenomenal. That is
Delicious.
really good.
Yep. I don't
That's
think
just one of the features you can get here wrapped up in that.
I don't understand. There's nowhere else that you can go where you can go have some beers, bowl, and get some delicious food like this. You know what I'm saying?
This is delicious.
This is ridiculous.
Rich, do you have a drink? We didn't get Rich a drink.
No, I'm fine right now. Thank you.
He's taking his
The
time.
crust is nice and thin.
It is. It is
Oh.
good.
Very
Well,
good.
That's a good point. It's not too
It
thick.
is.
It's not
Yep, it's not too
It's not
bready.
too much- It's not too much dough.
Correct.
exactly right.
It's not
Absolutely.
like
Exactly
the
right.
things that kill me, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just enough.
Yep. That's good, man. Yeah. So if you guys aren't in our area, you're gonna have to implore your places to actually make you some good food like this because Charlie's got his what together. Well done, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
No, it's very good.
Enjoy your day.
I owe you. I'll hit you up afterward.
We're good. We're
Thanks,
good.
man.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh,
All
that was
right.
good. That was good. So that was a chicken parm stromboli.
Yeah.
That was good.
So good.
This is the worst idea.
I know.
So
we're just gonna
good.
keep
Oh my
eating.
God.
At least we're not taste testing beers or wine or liquor or something.
you
because
imagine?
We'd be in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
You two would be in trouble. I think I'd have to get around it a little bit.
I don't know. So I don't know what the people think, but Dave Pangburn says save me a piece. He's a chef too, right? Like
Yeah.
Dave Pangburn's a
Yeah.
chef.
Dave,
I'm pretty
Dave's
sure.
a cook. Yeah.
Dave, you'll have to make us something one day. And Mitch says confirmed road trip. He's coming up to Albany because he likes the he knows that the
Get
food's
after
good
it,
here. Yep.
Let's do it.
You should have entered into the TNC Open this weekend. You know, you got a day or
Turnpike
two.
Open?
Turnpike Open. That's right. So let's get into our next topic here. We got Team USA. Team USA is in Dubai.
I heard Dubai is a great place.
It actually is pretty crazy. It's really, really advanced with their, I don't know, malls and whatnot.
Looks like a cool place. What do we got, Kyle? Read me off the stuff here.
Well, sadly, Team USA went medalless with doubles and singles so far for both the men and the women. And they started trios last night, I believe it was, because there's obviously a crazy time difference. I'm trying to think of what it is, 18 or 20 something hour difference, but or 12 hours, I forget. Anyway, what was interesting to me though was that they're bowling on a 44-foot 3-1 pattern, and the scores were through the roof. Kelly Kulik averaged 240. What did I look at? 240 something for almost 10 games, 8 games or something in the singles qualifying in a world championship tournament. So I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know if it was an accident that the scores were so high, or
Did you see the topography?
I did.
It was absolutely incredible.
It was weird looking too, almost.
It was like it was stripped. So the one, like the first 20 feet or whatever it was, would go right. Then the next 5 feet would go left, and then the next 5 feet would go right. It was like stripped. So it wasn't like how we've seen it at nationals. Have you seen the graphs before?
Yes.
How they're red, blue, green.
Yep.
We've showed a few of them. They are typically, they're kind of like this. These were actually it slants one way for 5 feet, slants another way for 5 feet, slants another way. So it was interesting to see. And guess what? The scores were just as good. So how important is topography?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, maybe it's not as,
I mean, I definitely think it's important. But if it's uniform like that, then I guess it's really as long as it's uniform,
same, right?
As long as it's uniform.
I'm gonna pull up the lane mapping that they did.
Yeah, and, Mitch Young said Jesper averaged 269.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
That is out of this world. I mean,
260 for how many games is that?
I think how many games they both Kyle? 6.
Depending on what squad they're in and whatnot, but I believe it was 6 or 8 games for qualifying for each round.
Basically 10 strikes a game.
Yeah,
it's out of control.
And I think crazy. You know what I want to say. I might have missed something, but I want to say in trios, Bakers, they might have had a 300 game too. For the ladies. Yeah, I think McEwen's team had a 300. I could be wrong, but here's the topography and how just very strange it looks. Rich, if you want to peek around, you got I know you're familiar, but it's all just one direction except for the very left side of the lane is slanted to the left, and then when you get to the pin deck this is lane 1 that we're looking at here. When you get to the pin deck, it just all darts to the left real hard. So if you're a right-hander, how great is that?
Yeah, it's almost like a funnel, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you get to the pin deck, it'll dive left.
Wow.
But it's just very strange how the lane mapper read these lanes, or how the lanes are constructed. But it's very uniform all the way throughout, and it created. Well, I mean, at least I don't know if the lanes created the scoring, but the scores were just through the roof on this 3-1 shot, which I was very surprised with. I was looking at some of the ladies' tournaments through the year. There was only one, and of course now I should have written it down. Of course, there's only one that was 3-1, and in what did I message you in qualifying? I think it was Zavala.
Stephanie Zavalova.
Oh, okay. That
she averaged like
240, but then after a couple blocks, her average started going down.
Right.
Their averages just never went down in this tournament. It was so high. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I think that they're doing a little bit better now in trios. I'm trying to find their scores here, but yeah, we'll have some more results next week. But it brought up a little bit of a conundrum while we were talking about
A conundrum.
while we were talking about Team USA this week, or in our discussions
Last night at 12:30
yes,
p.m. I mean
AM.
a.m. Yeah.
Team USA bowls all over the world all throughout the year, but the one thing that they're left out of every 4 years, as per usual, is the Olympics. Right?
We did talk about that yesterday.
Right.
Why is bowling not in the Olympics?
And it should be.
Well, I mean, it's they have multiple movements, to try to get it in there, but why is it not? What is the reason? There's got to be enough participation across the world.
That's what the argument is. The argument is that there's not enough. I don't know if it's bowling centers or enough participation in other countries or whatever.
There's plenty of overseas bowlers, especially now. I mean, they have European tours, they have Middle Eastern tours, they have
Asia tours.
Tours. They have, obviously
I think
on our
just
side.
take a look at this tournament that's going on in Dubai. I mean, how many international?
Oh, there's
how many
plenty.
countries are represented?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
There's plenty.
So
we
you
should
would
find that out.
certainly think there would be enough traction.
Right, absolutely. But
Right.
I think it's because this might sound horrible, but I think it's because of the equipment.
How do you mean?
If you're in equestrian or whatever that is, you have a horse. Now, whether the horse is better or not, it is what it is, but you have a horse. In archery, you've got a bow. You've got an arrow. In what else is surfing, which I cannot believe that was in the Olympics.
Yeah, let me just, while you're bringing this up, let me just digress for a second and talk about, we'll get back to your point, but let's talk about the sports that are currently in the Olympics.
Isn't there breakdancing?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I forget when it officially starts. I think it's the next Summer Games, but yeah, it's called breaking. By the way,
Okay.
It's not breakdancing.
I'm not woke.
Breaking. Yeah. Well, wake up. All
Sorry.
right, wake up. So yeah, we have breaking, of course, BMX, freestyle, all that stuff, and then you have like the multiples, like volleyball, beach volleyball, and then you have let's see, badminton, which I know is athletic and crazy, but like, how many people are out there playing badminton or table tennis?
I gotta say, there's probably.
I know we play table tennis all the time, but like,
I mean, there's got to be a lot of people who play badminton.
There must be, but I mean, how is there not more people bowling? I know we don't have the hard numbers here.
I mean, there's more participation. It's the highest amount of participated sport in America. So that's a lot.
Trampoline is in the Olympics. I'm very excited about that.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yep, and equestrian, that's very important. So there's a lot of groundbreaking and important sports here that are in the Olympics that bowling is not.
Well, could it be? Well, I think it's the equipment side of it, because if you look at it, there's 100 different bowling balls. There's overseas releases. There's our stateside releases. So you've got such a different variety. And now we go into other sports, and there's not, I don't think, as much. I mean, breaking, how much equipment can be in breaking? Shoes and clothes. But so you can get those kind of anywhere. It doesn't help you do anything. I think it might be the equipment, but Mitch Young says, bowling needs country versus country event. Now it gets me to think there is a lot of representation on country versus country. There's a lot of tours in other places. So maybe the Olympics sees it as bowling doesn't have to be in the Olympic. Maybe the Olympic Committee sees bowling doesn't have to be in the Olympics because it has so many other venues to where teams play other teams. Or,
well, if you're going to, I mean, just my opinion, if you're going to go that route, I mean, they recently included golf back into the Olympics, a couple of Olympic games back, and that's the same type of premise where they have different tours
absolutely.
throughout the world, and golf is back in.
There we go. So golf's back in. Why shouldn't bowling be in? But I don't think bowling was ever in. Was bowling ever in?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No,
never.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's always been a hot topic, at least in the bowling world,
right?
And there's no reason it shouldn't be in our humble opinion,
especially too on the professional tour, and even on the women's professional tour. You have a lot of international players.
Yeah,
there's a lot of international players. So I don't see why we couldn't do it. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. We were in the Summer Games in 1988. That was before my time.
Yeah, but was it actually an Olympic sport, or was it a
what they would call a demonstration sport.
Because that's
That I don't know.
That's the only way that I've ever seen it as a quote unquote Olympic sport was a demonstration sport where it's pre-games, not actually live in the games.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. The other thing too is I had seen today that there was.
I'm sorry. He did mention that. Mitch Young said bowling was featured in the Summer Olympic Games demonstration program.
Yeah, okay.
So yep. Thanks, Mitch.
They did have an. There is a. I want to say right. The International Bowling Federation Para Bowling World Championships. I guess it is the Paralympic.
Yeah, it's like the
that
Paralympics. Yeah.
There's 2 men and 2 women from each team that represent USA. So, that's not the Olympics either, is it? But it's very similar. So there can also be. Isn't there an Olympic for that too?
The Paralympics?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there we go. So then look, we got 2 kill bird with a stone. 2 birds with 1 stone. my words are getting jumbled. I can't think right now. I'm trying to read and think. Can't do 2 things at once. But you can have it in that and then the regular.
It's tough to walk and chew gum at the same time.
I know, Kyle. Sorry.
No?
But you have an opportunity there to put it in both things there, and it could be also good for bowling because it would grow. I think it could help grow. Look at curling. Curling's grown quite a bit since it's been since it's been a little more.
I actually caught
televised.
myself watching it Monday night for about an hour.
Yeah.
They had Olympic qualifiers on mixed teams.
When I was traveling for work a number of years ago, this was right when it got big, quote unquote, big in the Olympics. I was like on a red-eye flight, and I really wanted to go to sleep. And the airplane had TVs in the headrest, and it might have even been an Olympic year, so curling was on, and I'm like, okay, I'll just watch for apparently the next 6 hours. Because, I was glued to the television because I was just enamored by how they could make this rock move through the ice.
Yes.
And how they were like,
Yelling at the top of their lungs. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Every moment of it. It was great. And I still do. I actually still want to go. The thing about.
Didn't we look at it?
So here's the thing about curling, not to knock curling, but what's great about bowling is that you can walk into any bowling alley and go bowling. What's difficult about curling is that they make it very difficult to go curling because it's a club.
Right.
So you can't just walk into a curling club and be like, can I have a size 10 and 5 rocks sweeper? You have to go and set up a demonstration time because you have to potentially join, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct. Yeah, what they typically do. I have a friend of mine and also a brother-in-law who are members of respective curling clubs, and they'll have an open house. And then you're right. That's basically to get you to join. You can't, like you said, you can't just walk in and say, "Hey, can I have a nice lane for 2 people to curl for an hour?" It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. At least to my knowledge.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is cool though, curling.
It's way cool. I'd like to try to balance on that ice.
But now think about it though. Let's go back to the equipment. It's a rock.
Yeah.
And sweeps.
Doesn't change.
Right.
Well, I bet you that some of the sweeps have changed.
I'm sure the sweeps have changed, but if you're talking bowling, you're talking. You're going to a tournament. You're going to be doing 12 bowling balls, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And just thinking out loud, not to speak out of turn here, but just kind of thinking out loud for a minute. And what I'm thinking of all these very intricate sports that they have in the Olympics, breaking, you have curling, and you have these newer sports that are coming up, surfing. I wouldn't be surprised that within the next several years you might see cornhole.
You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more.
As crazy as it might sound,
I still feel like cornhole would be. I don't know. I mean, I guess if cornhole is in and bowling,
if they have trampolining, to me, just.
Or the one where they fly the little ribbon.
Ribbon dancing. Ribbon dancing.
Is that your favorite, Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, I like the ribbon dancing. I also like when they. I like the power walking.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
Yeah. You can't lift both feet off the ground.
Right. Oh my
God. Move down the street.
I guess Mitch says there could be a scoring could be a scoring potential issues with scoring system and a facility close enough. I mean, I guess the facility would be irrelevant because they build every year for the Olympics. So why couldn't you put in 20?
And they put in
25
temporary
lanes?
lanes when we first bowled out in Syracuse.
Yeah,
a
they
few
can put
years
in
ago.
temporary lanes. That's not a big deal.
Right.
I don't think. I think the problem, I guess the scoring system is an issue because there is a few different styles. There's like European style, I believe, where it's each strike is worth 30. You don't have to get the double or the triple to get 30.
But if you're, if you're, I guess if
you only bowl 10 frames in that style as well. You don't get 12. It's 10.
12 shots, you mean 10. They take 10 shots. It's still 10 frames. I understand what you're saying. But I guess if you're going to take 10-pin bowling, you're going to take the widely accepted 10-pin scoring. I mean, I would say that European style of scoring is probably not the widely accepted or widely used method.
Right, but that could be, I guess maybe what he's saying is the scoring system is too complicated.
Sure.
Because kids can't keep score now.
No.
And I'm okay at it. Won't lie.
Barely okay.
All I know is when I throw a strike, I try to throw 12 of them. I actually don't look at my score until the end. There's no point to look at it because it doesn't matter. But, I mean, the European style would probably be more it would be more favorable versus the other scoring style because you don't have to get the triple to get the 30 extra bonus pins. And then, if you get a spare in the 10th, then you get another shot. I think it just makes it, you get 10 frames and then 2 shots in each frame unless you throw the strike, and that's how it should be. But then you have to remember that is not uniform across all bowling. So now you run into another issue. So maybe it's the equipment and possibly the uniform rules, if we have rules still, of bowling are probably the issue, where they need to really come back into one set for everybody, I guess. So maybe lane play isn't the issue, Kyle. Maybe it's the scoring.
That could be it.
Instead of looking at the lane and saying they're too easy, maybe the scoring is too complicated.
That's been brought up before, but that one would be a tough nut to crack. Completely overhauling the scoring system. I mean, it is.
What is it to? Yeah, exactly.
It is a difficult scoring system. It doesn't make any sense.
There's no reason to throw 3 strikes to get 30.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
There's no rhyme or reason.
If I throw a strike, I should get 30.
Right. Or you should get 10. Whatever.
Yeah, just make it more simple.
Right.
And then if you're in the 10th frame, I got a spare, now I get another shot. I threw a double, now I get another shot. Well, how did they come up with that rule?
Right.
It's kind of like when Michael Scott starts playing a game or something, and he just makes his own rules up as he goes, and then it's just so he can do better. The one best bowler in the world back in Egypt or whoever made the scoring system, oh no, that's not how you play. My family plays this way, and then it just kept evolving. And then somebody was like, "Fine, we'll play your rules." Guy never lost. Probably the greatest bowler that we've never heard of.
Yep.
Was King Tut, and he probably made all the rules to himself.
Right. Yep.
And that's why they're so complicated now.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, I should say anything to get more people bowling, but to at least understand the scoring.
I think that's a problem.
Automatic scoring killed people's ability to score.
I know, and I touched on this right at the very beginning in the introduction. At Alpha Lanes, when I started as a junior, that was one of the things. Of course, they didn't have automatic scoring when I started. It was pencil and paper, and you had to learn.
Yep.
And they would take they took a week at the beginning of the season, and the coaches would come around and help if you didn't know how to do it. They would teach you how to keep score with pencil and paper.
Right.
And I think that obviously now that's a lost art with
I think with the new scoring does have the Cubica scoring has one I think they both have it, Brunswick and Cubica, but the one I think is called something saver, lifesaver or something. It's got a little lifesaver thing, and it shows you how to keep score and why things go that way. So why do you get 10 after your 9 spare? Why do you get 30 after this? But
we were talking about how do we improve youth bowling a couple of weeks ago,
right?
And and want the need to have team managers and higher level coaches,
which they tried back in the day, but how well was it? How
What I-
well was it
but
done?
what I'm getting at is
because we didn't think they tried it, but they tried a variation
sure.
of
But
it.
what I'm getting at is, maybe part of that, hopefully future goal.
Change.
Change is those coaches every 4th week. Monitors get shut off
We did do that, by the way, last year on a Wednesday night.
by
What?
accident, probably.
Yep. I had a bunch of I had, I had a bunch of junior bowlers here. I had about 5 or 6 of them because something happened with the screen.
Yeah.
The communication box broke or whatever it's called,
Sure.
and they're like, "So how are we gonna keep scoring?" I was like, "Well, we're just gonna put your name on a piece of paper, and I printed you out these frames, and you're gonna have
We're all
to
gonna
pay
learn.
attention when you're up and when you're not up." So the first game was a little tough because they don't really understand. But
Right.
the second game, they had one kid, and they'd be like, "Hey, what do I have now?" The one kid was pretty good at it. Believe it or not, the one kid hadn't really bowled that much, but he knew how to keep score at least.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we make it simpler, it might be easier to keep score. Because when kids bowl, like, "Oh, why do I have 75 in the
Right.
5th frame after I just threw a double? I only had 20 before that," or whatever it is.
Right.
They don't really understand it.
Right.
So we can get it to be an understandable thing and make it more universal. There's another thing. So maybe the equipment isn't the issue, but it's the scoring system itself.
Yeah. So
Because what scoring system are they using in Dubai? Because a lot of times when you go over to play in those, to bowl in those, to play in those, typically I believe they do use the European style, or maybe you have to be in the European wherever it is. But I've seen a few tournaments where they run that format in Dubai. I'm pretty sure they do run that.
well,
So
that would have
Now, how does it
flipped
work?
things on its head, but that would have been lower scores then if it's
Right.
only 10.
How does
or,
it work
or no,
out for-
strikes are automatically 30?
yes.
Right.
So 269 might have been because the guy got 30 every time. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
hear you.
possibility the scores look higher, but in reality, they wouldn't have been if they bowled the American way,
or standard.
Or the
standard,
score.
whatever it is. I don't
Traditional
know
scoring
anymore.
system will be used across all IBF World Championships.
So traditional would be normal. It's
Yeah.
regular. Thank you, Zach Phillips. Zach Phillips is on it too.
It's regular scoring. Thanks, Zach. All right. Well, I think we put a nail in that coffin. So let's why don't we move on to our topic of the day, which we're going to talk a little bit about ball surface and reaction, and maybe when to change and how to change.
What to change to?
What to change to. Before we do that, let's talk about our poll question of the week, which was, how do you prefer to surface your bowling ball, by machine or by hand? And I'm sure it's already gone, but the last time I checked, it was something to the effect of 71% of respondents said they like to alter their surface of their ball by hand.
I was one of them.
Yes,
Were you?
so was I.
Yeah, I
don't
I'm a hand
particularly.
guy too.
I don't particularly use a spin. The only thing I don't like about the spinner is, for myself, is that it gives my stuff a little bit more of a sheen to it because of the water on the pad. I like to do it without the water because it makes it look more charcoaly, and it rolls a little earlier typically if you don't put it on the spinner. If you put it on the spinner and you put the water on the pads, it kind of blends it out a little bit better, and the ball actually goes a little farther. That's what I've been told. It's kind of my observation too. And I love the ball to roll at my toes. So I like to do it by hand.
Yeah.
But the spinner is better for if you're looking for a little more length.
What about the resurfacer though?
Resurfacing?
Yeah.
Like the
It's
Hoff
not. What about
machine?
not just.
you're talking like big time resurfacing, like going back and redoing it?
Not just altering the surface, but if you need to or want to go from a real 500 to a real 2000 and you want to use.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry, my feet always move. The Haas machine is better that way because for me, it's just go and you're done. You hit the timer on it and it runs and it puts the water on it. It does a great job. It's just not my favorite because I don't really truly resurface anything for myself.
Yeah.
For other people, yes, but for myself, I'm taking it with a Abralon pad. I'm gonna make some circles, make some dust with my hands, and do it that way. But if you're gonna do a true resurface, I think you really have to get on the Haas machine.
Yeah. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, I prefer to do it by hand. I don't like using the machine per se. Like Anthony, I like to get the ball to roll for me earlier. And I just having the pads right in my bag just makes it a little bit easier for me. And sometimes I don't scuff the whole ball. I'll just scuff where the bow ties
Yep.
come across. I'll just scuff those up a little bit to get that ball to for the shape I'm looking for. I obviously don't hook the lane like you folks do. But still, I still like to have that.
For those of you that don't know, Rich is a Deadeye player. He's a horseshoe player, straight down and in.
Yeah, but he doesn't miss.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
try
no.
not.
If you see Rich miss a spare, I assume that the lane's off.
I don't know if that's true, but well, again, it just goes back to what we were talking about earlier with junior bowling. You know, they place an emphasis on making your spares.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important. Of course, the equipment and lane surfaces are so much different, you know, then than they are now. But that's what I like to do with my equipment. I do like to have the ability to do it by hand. As far as the resurfacing, for me, I guess only if we were going to like nationals and I knew that then it'd be a little bit different. I'd probably come in here and put them in the machine.
Oh yeah.
I don't personally like the Haas machine, the resurfacing machine, because anytime I've used it, or even putting it on the spinner to do a full resurface, anytime I've done it, I just have disliked the reaction from the ball.
Yeah.
If I'm ever gonna look for the ball to be back to where it was, I want to do a rejuvenation, like the rejuvenator back there,
Yeah.
or bake it. Or some people like to do the dishwasher, not dishwasher, but hot water and soap.
Yeah.
People put it in the dishwasher.
I know they do. I don't know that I would recommend that, but
I wouldn't.
yeah, but no, if I don't like to totally alter my surface anyway. Like if I have a polished ball or a pearl ball, I don't like to take that ball from that area and move it to a 500.
We are in the totally different realms.
I know, but I'll take the surface off the ball.
If
I have too much hockey stick, I'll take the surface off the ball and I'll scuff it a little bit. But I'm not going to put a 500 pad to it.
I agree. I wouldn't either. No,
but if I have a 500 or 1,000, I don't know that I'm ever. I don't like to mess with the surface too much. I like the natural ability of the ball, and then if I want something different, I'll use something different. Me personally, I just don't like the way the ball reacts when I put it in that machine.
Yeah.
Austin says he resurfaces it when it stops striking.
For him, that's not very often because the guy does strike a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing because I like to put there is a ball behind me, this green thing.
Trailblazer.
It's supposed to come compounded, so it comes at like 5,000. I put mine down to like 1,000 because even though it's a hybrid, because I think I wrote it in the notes, I hate anything with shine. The only ball that has shine on it is my Widow Ghost because that ball picks up, kind of does exactly what I want it to anyways. It's not too flippy for me. The Widows never are. But typically when I have anything, a pearl ball or anything with a little bit of shine on it, it's got to go away. You can't because the break point becomes too wishy-washy. Yeah, exactly. You can't get it to roll the right way.
Completely
Sometimes
agree.
you hit the friction, it hooks off the friction really quick. Then you hit it, and then you're like, okay, let me just throw it a little more inside to get down the lane, and then it never hooks. You're like, what the heck is going on here?
Right.
So Rich Young actually agrees with you, Kyle. Every time he has the ball resurface, he hates it. So he's gotten to the point where he just buys a new ball.
Love it. Keep buying them, Mitch.
Yeah.
There's that too. Yeah.
There's so many out there now. How many times do you really buy two of one ball? I've done it multiple times. Rich, have you ever done that?
I've done it a couple times years ago.
Simultaneously or back to back?
Back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because you liked it.
Yes.
But not like simultaneously to do something different.
Correct. One of my favorite ones of all time was back in the the mid 90s, a Storm Paradigm. It was a Pearl 1500, asymmetrical. I really liked it. I liked it so much that after the bridge cracked on it twice, I purchased a second one, and then I purchased a third one.
Wow.
Because I liked it so much. I had a
Three's a
bowl
lot.
of honor scores with that.
That was a pretty
equipment.
popular ball, and
Yeah.
I believe, if I remember correctly, in the 90s, early 2000s, or both, storms were wildly popular
Yes.
for cracking, especially in the bridges.
Yes, they were.
But I think that they've pretty much solved that problem as of late. I think. No? Anthony says nope.
I
Okay.
have a lot that crack.
Okay.
It's interesting you say that. But the other thing is now, Kyle, we were talking about reaction. My question to you is, what surface do you like? We're going to get a little more pinpoint. What surfaces do you like on certain patterns? So we'll say you're going to go ball in a shorter pattern. We'll say anything under, Rich, this applies to you too. We'll say 38 feet and under. Is that short for you?
It is.
Okay, so anything under 44 feet is short for Kyle. So let's say 38 feet, 38 feet, anything. We'll say 39. 39 and under. What is your typical,
Purple urethane.
Basically, what he's telling you, everybody, is he likes something that creates traction really early and rolls out and rolls forward at the back.
Yeah.
He doesn't like anything that's got a higher grit to it. So you like stuff that's
but
lower.
it's not even just.
You just like the surface and the cover stock of the ball.
Yeah, there's
matches
that, but as we're finding out with the layouts too, and not to get away from surface that we're talking about,
right?
Because I've tried so many different surfaces on those patterns, and I'm finding getting away from the,
you're going to
works.
layout quick.
We know that purple works.
Yeah.
If I try to go with different surfaces, I've got to use a layout with a shorter pin, it seems like, or a really early rolling.
A toe roller.
Yeah, as we talked about last time. Slow roller likes length. But
that's got to be already.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're finding out that I think it's not just surface for me. I need surface for short pattern surface and
strong cover stocks.
Right. And
with toe roller layouts.
Right. So that it bites early and then goes straight basically in the back end.
Just kind of loses all of its energy and rolls straight, picks up early,
once it
controls that break point.
It's just going left for me. It
Rich,
happens all the time.
Yeah. On shorter patterns for me, I mean, going back to when I first started, when there's predominantly wood lanes and the lanes were hand dressed and the patterns were automatically shorter, I always like to use pearl with a pin up so it wouldn't hook early.
Yeah.
It would get through for me, because I was playing pretty straight, for it to get through the front and then check up.
Yeah.
And then it would retain a little bit of that energy for me.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with Kyle. I like anything. I don't know. I try to use urethane. I'm not great at it, but when I have a really good look with it, I really mash them.
Not great at it, but when you threw purple at doubles and singles for nationals,
would
we shoot 7 something?
It did. But you got to remember, that the look was there.
Dude, it was ridiculous.
It was insane.
I'm not a big urethane player.
I shoot 620 on teams and I think I shot almost 700 on doubles and then 6 something on singles. It was the purple is just stupid.
So well, especially on the shorter because the ball just wants to pick up so early and gets me straight, which is what I'm good at because I'm left-handed. I can't do anything else. I like to throw right at the second arrow every single time I bowl, but I get the ball to roll up and kind of stop, and it keeps me nice and square, which is what I'm good at, and it doesn't overhook for me. It doesn't overreact. So I used it last night in practice, of course, and it was just I threw like 8 in a row, and it was ridiculous. But I do like, if we're getting away from urethane on shorter stuff, typically what I like for myself, I mean, I can get away with a Zenith or a Game Breaker 4. I can use those type of balls or an Obsession Tour. I've done it we have a video. When we went to the NEBA, that was 33 feet, right?
Like last year?
Yeah, when you double guttered, where's brackets?
That was 2 to 2, 30 something. Yeah,
32 feet or something like that. Yeah. I like the sanded stuff at like 1,000, and I had like a 4.5 to 4 3/4 inch pin on them, just to get them from a little more forward. So I like the stuff that really bleeds off quick on the short stuff, especially with the way I throw it.
I did on the Nationals pattern last night. That was 39 feet. 39 feet? 38 feet? 39 feet.
I
did throw the Obsession Tour Gold
Oh, you did. That's
a couple times.
But you have a
last night
5 3/4 inch
with a
pin on
long
that thing.
pin. I know, long
Super
pin.
long.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
And it
that's
worked okay. Not great, but okay. But it was actually when I moved in that it worked okay.
Well, of course, yeah.
So once the outside was starting to burn up because we were
Right.
using urethane and a lot of
Heavy
sanded,
sanded stuff.
I moved in and it worked okay, but it was still a little too strong. So I went back to the melee jab blood red.
Yeah.
And
To open the lane up.
but it has a lot of hold in that ball for some reason. Not a lot of swing though, but I've got a lot of hold with that ball.
Right.
The melee.
So if we had to,
But back to your original question, short patterns for me.
you need something with surface.
I gotta burn
Slow
out
down
the
quick.
energy.
Rich is a little slower in ball speed, so he likes the ball to get through the fronts a little bit because his
Right.
ball will hit DOA.
Right.
For me, I am high ball speed, high rev rate. I like something to burn up early as well. So okay, so we have some differences. We have some non-differences.
Right.
Similarities, as some people would call those,
Words are not my strong suit tonight.
or ever.
So thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
So
You
now
gotta-
that we,
Gotta eat some more.
trust me, I'm
There's
gonna
an
eat as
entire
soon as-
Stromboli in
as
here.
soon as we get done here. I'm going to crush that thing. So now that we talked about the shorter, let's go longer. I think the medium kind of depends on style of player a little bit more. But if you're going on a longer pattern, let's say 42 feet or more, because I think the middle patterns are about 40 to 42. 43, 44 start to get a little longer. What are you going to throw on that?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Every time I start, it almost seems like
Just so you know, Kyle doesn't really want to bowl unless the pattern is over 43
Such
feet.
that is so not true. It's such BS. I love bowling.
He loves bowling.
regardless.
Okay. He likes to bowl regardless, but he really shines when it's 43
That is
feet
true.
plus.
That is true. But so I almost always end up starting, unless it's a house shot or something. But let's talk about just sport shots because they always seem to be 25 milliliters plus. So for me, I always seem to end up starting with something with surface, and it just at that point depends on the layout and position on the lane where I'm starting. So
You start off square with a ball that rolls a little
exactly.
smoother.
So if it's 44 feet or something like that, I usually end up being in around the 15 area, and I'm playing pretty much straight down the lane. And I've got some surface, but I've got something that's not toe rolling. I've got something that's getting down the lane
Right.
and storing some energy.
A little bit more energy, right?
Yeah.
Are you in agreement, Rich? What are you taking on this one?
For me, no, and especially for you, if you like to move in and play 15, play a little straighter. For me, I noticed when we came in here and practice on tougher patterns, even at nationals for me with the Zen, even though it has a little bit of shine to it, I would typically, it's not what I like to do, but I'll move in and slow hook it if the pattern is really long, and I'll have something with some surface on it to get that ball to roll earlier. And I did have success with the Zen in nationals in the team event where I moved in and I played the track and shot, I think, at 598 in the team event.
Right.
I
mean, we have made some strides in the nationals.
Yeah.
Past few years,
Yeah,
I think
we
we've
have.
made some big strides.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seems to be becoming more competitive, but I did see you play it like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I always thought, oh, I need a big surface ball because I got to get the ball to hook. Well, I've come to find out, because I'm left-handed, I don't really score well on the longer stuff. You get me on 42 feet plus, I typically don't score. I try to move in and and then I try to play a little bit farther outside, and you really can't get the ball to shape from out there. So what I like to do now, we did bowl over in Rippix the other day, and I think we bowled on 44 feet Billy Hardwick, and I did not bowl bad. I just didn't strike. I didn't get the breaks I needed. But what I really liked to throw on 44 feet turned out to be a pearl ball with like 3,000 on it. Because what I found was when I use that sanded stuff that's really strong, Polaris, Zenith, you name it, the stuff with the big covers on it, even though my Polaris is drilled to go longer, like we were talking about here, my ball, for whatever reason, I burn that ball out and like
goes early.
Oh, and it hits the pins, but it hits the pins like a bag of marshmallows. And I never strike. So I ended up using a Quantum Evo and a Zenith Pearl and a melee jab. Now, I didn't really strike until I switched to my melee jab, the blue one, but it seemed like I had more miss room, and I had just, obviously the angle's not right if you're not striking.
Right.
But I could actually hit the pocket and play where I kind of really wanted to play. I had a really good luck. I just didn't have the right the right match or the right mix that day to really get a lot of strikes. So I'm starting to find out when I bowl on the longer stuff, because we've practiced on Wednesday night, I'm starting to like the pearl stuff, maybe with a little bit of 3000, because when there's less friction in the backs, I want it to respond faster, and I don't want it to burn up in the front part of the lane.
Right.
So a hybrid, like a Trailblazer for me, probably is going to be a really good ball for me, because I tried my Zenith hybrid. It was really good, but I just rolled too early, like I was saying, because it's got so much surface. So that Trailblazer at 3000 should give me that length and motion I'm looking for.
Right.
So I guess it's kind of teach their own what they really like, as we're coming to find out here. But typically,
like we've talked about before, it's all about what is your speed, what is your
of course, there's no right answer to anything. So that's why it's nice to talk to other people. But when you have a shorter friction, when you have 44 feet, you only have 20 feet of friction. I'm not going to do the math. It's like 17, whatever it is. When you have 39 feet, you've got 25, 26 feet of friction. For me, I can't get the ball to get there and take a right-hand turn on the short stuff. But when we go to the longer stuff, I need that ball to get through the middle part of the lane a little bit more and start to hook a little later down lane. So that way I have a better shot, a little bit more error room too.
Right.
So interesting. So I like the pearl stuff on that. I just feel like it's wrong.
Right.
I feel like I'm
for short stuff.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Pearl
I was
stuff.
reading Mitch's question.
Pearl
Sorry.
stuff for long.
Yeah.
Solid stuff for short. Higher surface. Higher surface, as we talked about surface. I like higher surface on short, less surface on the long, and I like the pearl cover stocks on the long.
Yeah.
Or maybe a polished.
It's counterintuitive. It seems like it's
Right.
wrong, but it
actually works.
Yeah.
It's weird. It does seem counterintuitive. You think you want the ball to roll early, but it's not true on the long stuff.
Mitch wants to know what the chances are that he can send you his measurements and have you drill him a ball.
It's very, very interesting.
It sounds wildly expensive just to get a ball. And also, never seen you throw it. Mitch, you'll have to send a video.
Send a video. Send me a ball with your track on it.
Yep.
Tell me what ball you want. Send me a
track.
2-ball toe.
Yep.
And I'll ship you the second ball back.
There you go.
And you'll be ready to go. We'll get you interchangeable thumb. That way we don't have to work the thumb out anymore.
All right, you got all the ideas. You gotta have a switch grip. Yep.
He's got to do an interchange. That way when he can just be like, hey, Anthony, I need this. And boom, send it down to him. Done.
Bing, bang, boom.
Touchdown, Jesus.
It'll be all yours for $19.95. 3 easy installments. All right, so let's get to our bowler of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget you can enter to be bowler of the week.
Rich was bowler of the week a few weeks ago.
That's right.
We
I
appreciate it. Thank you.
In-house.
Yes.
Don't forget, you can be bowler of the week if you enter via our Facebook page on the About page.
Could be.
Or through
bowler of the week.
Or through our Instagram bio. There's a link in there to enter to be bowler of the week. Or you can nominate somebody to be bowler of the week. Just click the link.
I declare bankruptcy.
Enter the information. And then the winner of that week is entered to be bowler of the year. And they will be winning some DLP apparel.
Can I win?
No, every week you ask. Yes, every week, Rich.
You do ask every week.
Well, then you gotta ask. Hey, what's the worst he can say? No.
True.
He's not going to kick me off.
It's like those commercials. It's like those when you hear on the radio, employees of the radio station cannot win.
Correct. That's right. The old disclaimer.
So this week, bowler of the week from Guildhall in New York, and a bowler at Town and Country Lanes, Jeremy Whitney.
Look at that picture of him.
That's a dad of the year picture right there.
I know. That's great.
I love it.
I don't know if that's his son though. I think it is.
Congratulations!
I can't tell. His son is so young.
Nicely done.
I can't tell.
He's
from that picture.
We get totally spell his name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Winne.
Yeah. What did
Winnie?
Oh no, it's Winne.
Sorry, Austin. I'm calling you out. So we definitely owe him a drink this week.
Nice.
Jeremy Whitney. I have, great guy, great bowler. Let's
bowled
see
here his entire life. Basically.
He's just when I bowl him, it's bad because we just have a grand old time. Let's see. His high series is for 4 is 1028. He only bowls 4 games, by the way. I don't know if he remembers his 3 because he's been bowling 4 games since he came out of high school.
Okay. Well, let's.
His high of 290.
Should have been prepared with this information.
he had a 278 last week after he had 20 strikes in a row.
20 strikes?
20 strikes and he didn't shoot
But
300.
no 300 game.
No 300, 278.
Wow, that's not easy to
He's
do. my
never
friends.
had 300.
Wow.
Never.
I will say that he's a great guy. He's a little upset because who did we picked last week? Jake Smith, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Jake
So
Smith, yep.
No longer be upset, sir.
don't be upset. You did a great job, Jeremy. It's kind of funny because he's writing me a bunch of stuff right now.
Right.
Jeremy, you're a
great.
great guy. He's a guy. I think he's right around 220 average. I think he's close. He's got to be close to that.
Right.
And he had a great
week
week last week. Yeah.
Yeah, and
20
he's
straight
an avid listener of the show.
Good fisherman.
Oh, he's an avid fisherman
We
too?
talk fishing all the time. He's also a Buffalo Bills fan.
Ooh, I'm sorry to hear about
Ooh.
I know it's horrible, but teach their own. So, Jeremy, congratulations! I can't wait to see you on Monday, and I can't wait to get a big hug from you.
that. And don't forget, if you want to be bowler of the week, like I said, go to our Facebook page. You can enter there through the information on our Facebook page. There's a link there. There's also a link on the Instagram page in our bio where you can click the bowler of the week entry, fill out the information, nominate yourself or someone else, and then you can enter. And Jeremy, wait a minute. Who said he hasn't had a 300 game?
You said he hasn't had 300.
This says January 27th, 2007. January 14th, 2007. October 10th, 2016.
He literally said, maybe he said
January
no 300 after 20 strikes in a row.
You're an idiot. You are
Reading,
you're
talking,
a disgrace.
reading and
I don't know
talking is
what's
not
going
good. How many 300s does he have?
He's got 1, 2,
Huh?
3,
I stink
4,
corrected.
5.
See?
I
And
stink
he's
corrected.
got an 800 series.
All right.
Wow, we really butchered it. We spelled his name wrong.
And
And
right.
you know, I left.
What's his
Anthony
800 series?
One time,
Once.
one time,
Yes.
I named Anthony up to do the investigative work to get the information for Jeremy's bowler of the week.
Nice.
I
And
texted
he
him.
butchers the entire thing.
Jeremy, we are not friends anymore.
Jeremy, I don't know. I'm
You're
so
blaming it
sorry, Jeremy.
Way to answer the
You blame it
text.
on the winner of bowler of the week. Shame on you. You know what? Next week you have to wear the dunce cap.
Yep, I think so.
It's over there. I
Oh,
wear it every
you
week.
need- You need a dunce cap for next week.
I'm ready for it. Have my sister buy it and I'll wear it. You know I don't care.
Oh my god.
I'll wear anything. I'll wear
What a way to end the show.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, way
to
to go,
him.
Jeremy.
Yes.
You've never bowled 300 apparently. No honor scores in your entire life. Oh, I love you, Jeremy. I'm sorry, buddy.
He also beat up Jeremy Hookcamp. I want to put that on there.
What's that?
He also beat up Jeremy Hookcamp.
Oh, in the olden days.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to put that
Buddies
on
now or
air.
no?
No, they're great friends.
Yeah.
But he
That
did
was
it.
high school days.
Yeah, that was
high
when.
school days.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
All right, guys. Well, it is time that we went a little long. It is time for us to go bowling. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you can't watch the show, you can download and listen from any major podcast outlet. And please give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to make suggestions for the show, please email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Rich, thank you very much for joining us
No,
in the
thank
studio.
you very much for having me in, fellas. I
Appreciate
greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And a couple of quick things. Thank you for, I think my daughter was watching this evening. She's
Nice.
a senior at SUNY Oneonta. Carol Ann, hello. Get back to work. And Lisa and all my friends and family, thank you very much for watching. Please support the podcast every week. They're great
Thank
guys. I'm glad they had me in. And happy Veterans Day again to all of those who are serving and whom have served. Thank you.
Yes, that was
Very much.
very well said. Thank you to the
Did you
veterans.
plan that
and
out?
Thank you.
No,
You think it? Because I could have never
No.
done that. You've seen me talk all night.
No.
You're absolutely right. Yes, thank you again. Thank you for your service, and thank you to all who have served. You are better people than Anthony and myself, and I can say that proudly.
Wow.
Thank you to Austin Van Buren, the producer.
yes,
Jack-
Austin. Thank you.
Jack Skateshow, the proprietor of Town and Country Lane. Anthony, I don't know if I can say that was a great. You absolutely obliterated the show right there at the end. You dropped a bomb on it.
I just want to keep it interesting. I want to keep you on your toes. If you're not researching, what are you doing?
You didn't research.
I'm talking about you. If you're not researching, what are you doing?
Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.
Thank you.